Hello, welcome to Maryville College. I'm here to tell you about Maryville College Works. My name is Dr. Karen Beal. I'm an associate professor of psychology, but for the next several years, I've agreed to be chair of Maryville College Works. And I am so excited about this program. This program was envisioned several years ago by our board, and our board wanted to make sure that parents and prospective students understood that Maryville College was interested in making sure that they could get jobs when they leave Maryville College. And so we began putting together a program that spans 4 years that focuses on individual students seeking out their strengths and getting them into the careers that they want to be in at the end of their 4 years here. So I'm going to take the next 15-20 minutes and I'm going to walk you through this program, and then I'm going to open it up for questions, and I'll answer whatever questions that you have. So let's get started. So first of all, this program is a 4-year program. It starts in the freshman year, and in the freshman year we want you to explore all the career and major options that interest you. And we know that students change their mind a lot through high school. Some students know exactly what they want to do when they come in, but typically students have maybe a couple of different things in mind and they want to explore different things. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want you to do, is really take time and explore things and figure out what you want to do, not just something that your parents told you that you should do. Also in that freshman year, you're going to start doing a resume. You're also going to learn good interviewing skills. And the reason we want you to start doing this in the freshman year is we want you to see what a successful person's resume looks like at the end of 4 years, so you know exactly what you need to be doing throughout your 4 years here to build your resume. Now, I know a lot of you all are busy in high school and you've got some great things on your resume already, but there's even more things that you need to do to put on your resume through college. So right at the very beginning, we want you to learn all the essential components that you're going to need to add for the next 4 years. Also, we have what's called the Strong Interest Inventory. This is an inventory that we've purchased for every freshman, and freshmen take this. It's over 200 questions, and it helps you figure out what things you're interested in and what you're good at. And then it gives you scores on 6 different dimensions. And then that combination of scores, it looks at what you scored the highest in, and then it gives you suggestions for careers that would match those high interests and skills. And then you get to have a one-on-one conversation with an advisor to figure out what those scores mean, if those professions are something that's interesting to you, and so forth. So let me give you an example. I had a student. He came in. He knew for sure that he was going to be a doctor. He had done biology in high school. He really loved it, made good grades, came into Maryville College and told me day one he wants to be a doctor. I'm like, great. So we set him up for biology, chemistry, and all the courses that are pre-med. He then takes this strong interest inventory, and turns out all of his careers had to do with, or suggested careers had to do with social work, working with people, and anything having to do with one-on-one and counseling. And I said, none of the health professions came up on this. He said, I know, Dr. Beal, but I just know I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm like, okay, that's all right. We'll just keep going and we'll see what happens. We get halfway through the semester, the freshman year, and he comes to me. He's doing really bad in biology and chemistry, and he said, I just don't see the point of looking in microscopes. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, I just don't see that that's going to have anything to do with being a doctor. And I said, maybe pre-med is not the field for you. I said, let's do this. I said, because you need to wait to take biology and chemistry again because your scores are so low. Let's explore and take a couple of different things. I said, how does intro to psychology or intro to sociology sound? And he's like, well, I think intro to sociology sounds like a fun class. I said, let's get you in there. Don't you know, that was what he loved, and he latched onto it. He did fantastic. He found that that was actually the field that he wants to go in. He did some research in sociology and did his senior thesis there. And the last time I saw him, he had matured so much in just 4 years. And I'm like, it looks like a different person. But that's the kind of thing that you can learn here at Maryville College, because we have all of these things in place, and these one-on-one discussions with an advisor are so important that are hard to get at a lot of schools. So I'm really proud to be at Maryville College for that reason. The other thing that you'll do in that freshman year is when you officially declare your major. Now, of course, if you come in with an idea of a major, we'll get you in all the classes that you need. But in the spring is when you officially declare, and we have a major declaration fair where that happens. And then you develop your 4-year plan to make sure that you can get done in 4 years. We want to make sure that when you choose a major that you feel good about it, and that, you know, we don't want you to wait till your senior year and you're still bouncing around not knowing what you want to do. Then we go to the sophomore year. And in the sophomore year, you have now declared your major, so now you're discussing all the career options that are available to you in your major. You're also going to review your graduation plan, because we want to make sure that now you're with a major advisor, someone in your field. We want to make sure that the graduation plan that you had set out in your freshman year works and will get you all the way through. And this is also the time when you're going to start learning about grad school and job search processes. And again, for each major that we have, this may be different. So you want to make sure and get a professor who's in that field who's going to be able to guide you through that process. Then we move into the junior year. The junior year, every student does what we call a significant practical experience. You're going to identify what that is, apply for it, and complete it. Now, significant practical experience is not a buzzword that everybody says, and we named it that on purpose because a lot of people say internships, and internships is exactly what they need to do. If you're going into business, do an internship. But if you want to go into the performing arts, internship might not be what you need to do. It may be better for you and for your resume to write, direct, and star in a one-act play. It may be that you want to go into research, so a summer research internship or opportunity would be perfect for you. So that's why we didn't want to call it one specific thing. It's lots of things, and it's tailored to whatever the student's goals are. So you figure out what career you want, and we help you identify and get you placed in a significant practical experience that sets you up for that career. So for many it may be an internship, but not for everybody. One of the big things that will help us is you write your goals. What kind of career do you want, or what kind of skills do you want to beef up? So I had a student who really wanted to go in industry organization psychology, industrial organizational psychology, or he wanted to go into applied stats. Those fields are very similar. And what he wanted to get on his resume so that he would look good to grad schools was experience with large databases, advanced statistical analysis, reporting to agencies. And so we found a specific experience for him. He actually analyzed data from here at Maryville College on retention numbers. And he did this incredible analysis. He was even teaching me how to read some of the reports because the statistical analysis that he was doing was so sophisticated. So, and then he got into the applied stats program at UT for his master's. So that's just an example of how you think about your goals, and then we find an experience that matches your goals. Again, it could be a senior thesis, it could be a senior art project, a volunteer experience, service learning, research, Bonner Scholars, summer job, a study abroad, or an internship. Any of those things could qualify for this significant practical experience. Here's an example I've got to tell you about this student. This is Brandon Brewer. Brandon Brewer came to Maryville College, football player, and he was particularly excited about nothing but football. And that's what he was interested in. That's great. When he decided to declare a major, he thought, you know, I would really like to be that person that covers all the high school football games writes it up in the paper, and then everybody sort of knows who I am, and I've had this football experience in college, so this would be perfect for me. So he declared a writing communications major, and his advisor helped him get that exact position. He would go to high school football games, and he would write up the stats and everything from the game, submit it, and it would be published in the newspaper. Well, one thing that he figured out while he was doing that was, for one, the deadline of submitting a write-up from a Friday night football game is 2 a.m. on Saturday morning. That means after the football game, you can't go hang out with your friends. You've got to go to your computer and write everything up and have it ready to submit by 2 a.m. And then he got his first paycheck, and it was just tiny little amounts of money. And he's like, oh, I can't make a living at this. And so then he realized, all right, so I've got to do something else, but I still really like football. So his advisor helped him with his senior thesis, and the title of it was The Impact of Television on Professional Football. And with that, he actually submitted part of his thesis to ESPN at Walt Disney in Florida. They loved it because it was all about exactly what they're doing, and they hired him during the summer to be a PR sports intern. Perfect. He got down there, and he probably would have been very good at that job. He loved it, but he found this whole new realm of people called sports lawyers. And he was like, that's what I want to do. And they loved him. They took him under their wing, and so then he went to law school at Florida State with a concentration in sports law. He just graduated, and now he is a sports lawyer. So this is exactly what we want to do. Have students come in with whatever they're interested in, football, arts, whatever, and we'll help them figure out a career to do exactly what they love and what they're good at. So here's just another example. This is Donald Rucker. Donald Rucker knew that he loved children, knew that he wanted to teach elementary school, and he was fantastic with kids, fantastic on all kinds of levels. But he didn't know exactly what he wanted to do or where he wanted to go. He worked with his advisor, who helped him set up a summer experience in rural China. And when we say rural, I don't mean just like up in Townsend or up in Walland. I mean, he was in a place where he had to walk, I think it was 2 miles, to get hot water to take a shower. There was no running water in where he was staying. He could get water, cold water, not too far away, but he had to walk 2 miles in order to take a shower. His laundry he could only do 1 time a week, and he had to walk all the way into town to do it. But he loved this experience because these kids wanted to learn. And that desire, that hunger for learning, is what motivated him. He loved those kids. He decided to come back home to the United States, and he is working in rural Alabama, I think it is, and he just won Teacher of the Year. I mean, he is doing fantastic things, and these kids are incredible. And we're talking a poor area of the country, low socioeconomic status. He comes in every morning. He's got these little YouTube clips that he puts up every once in a while that I watch, and on these clips you can see him. He stands outside the door every morning. He shakes the hand of all of his students, and he says, "Good morning, young scholar." And you should see these kids. They just swell up, and they're like, yes, I'm a scholar. But it's that kind of significant experience that he was able to get here at Maryville College working with his advisor. Lastly, the senior year. This is when all the pieces are coming together. We have this intensive online modules that students take to build all those job search competencies. So networking, what do you wear for an interview, what do you not wear, shaking hands, how to write a cover letter, writing thank you notes, all those little things that we just want to make sure students get right before they go out into the work world. They also then submit their final resume. So they start their resume in their freshman year. You update it every single year with your advisor, and then when you get to the senior year, you submit it to the professionals in our Career Center, and they make sure that it's that it's perfect before you send it out. You also do a final interview just to practice your interviewing skills. Lastly, we want students to be able to articulate the connections between college and career. So we want students to reflect on their general education, their major, their co-curricular activities like football, and the 60 different clubs that we have here at Maryville on the college campus, intramurals, whatever it is that you do, and think about how all those things have come together to make you be the person that you are, that makes you perfect for the job you're applying for. We want to make sure that whatever your dream job is, we're going to help you get there. Now, a lot of colleges have programs that are similar to this, but none of them have it mandatory, and none of them have it incorporated in their core curriculum and major curriculum so that every student gets it all 4 years, all throughout their program. And it's not something you have to do extra on top of everything else. It's woven into your classes so that you get it regardless. And so that's the thing that we think is so exciting about this program. That is Maryville College Works. Now, what I'd like to do for the next little bit is answer any questions that you have. So what kind of questions do you have about Maryville College, or about this program, or about majors? Anything you have, I'm happy to answer. Okay. All right, so we got a couple of good questions here. So students doing internships abroad, this is a new program that we are doing. Now, students have done semester abroads for a long time, and the thing that I love about it, because I don't speak another language, so I've seen students who speak Spanish like go and do internships, but there are programs for people like me who don't speak another language to go to countries all over the world. There are programs in China all done in English, in France, in Spain, nearly any place you can think of, there are programs in English that you can go and do. So that's one of the things that I love. We're just now starting to do internships abroad, and that involves a different kind of visa application, because you can go and be a student, but to go and work is a different level of visa process. So that's one of the things that we're working on, because many students want to do that. And Donald was able to do that. The example that I showed you in China, he was able to work in China. Oh, and he also didn't speak Chinese, so that was an English program. Another question is talking about outdoor rec. First of all, let me say there are some exciting things happening in outdoor rec. So we are just gearing up to add some majors in outdoor rec, but let me explain what I know. Now, again, outdoor rec is not my area. I can get you connected with somebody who can tell you everything that you want to know about it, but let me just answer some general questions about it. So outdoor rec has exercise science. They also have this general outdoor rec program. There's also a physical education licensure program that you can get as well to be a school teacher. But some of the new things that we're adding, I don't know if you know about Mountain Challenge here on Maryville College campus, but this is a cutting edge ropes course that people from all over the country come here to do with their management, and they do like management training on the ropes courses. And with us being right close to the Smoky Mountain National Park, there's a lot of tourism in this area. So we're developing a new major that links in tourism and links in this sort of mountain challenge group facilitation in it. So you are going to be able to, with an outdoor rec, go in several different areas as well. Now, another thing that we're looking at adding is sports management. So it's sort of a combination of outdoor rec or physical education, exercise science, but also has that management piece with it. So if you are a outdoor person, if you're a sports-minded person, there's lots of different careers that you can go rather than just playing professional sports. So did that answer your question about that? You know, if it didn't, ask again, and I'm happy to answer more questions. But if you'd like, we can get you some more information about the different programs that we have available. Okay, so here's another question. If I was interested in working in a camp setting as a career, what major might I pursue? Well, my goodness, there's several different majors that come to mind. And this is the good thing about a program or a college like Maryville College, because we can piece together all the pieces that you need exactly to get right to the career that you want to go to. So you could major in child development, and we've had lots of people major in child development go to careers such as that. I can think of 2 right now that graduated in the last couple of years that are working in camps programs. So that's a child development. It's through behavioral sciences. You could also get child development for licensure if you also wanted to teach and then do summer camps just during the summer. There is also, you could get a psychology counseling degree, and that doesn't set you up to be a psychologist. You have to go on to grad school for that. But with the psychology counseling degree, it gives you that background and it gives you that readiness to work with people. And working at a camp with that kind of background would be fantastic. I'm sure they would be all over that. Another one would be outdoor rec. And you know, as I say that, you could also do minors with each of these things. So like you could major in child development with a minor in outdoor rec. Or you could do business. We also have a nonprofit management certificate program. So here's a winning combination for you. Do a major in child development, a minor in outdoor rec with a nonprofit certification. Bam. Again, with a liberal arts degree, there's lots of different ways that you can go. And we also have the major that we can tailor to a specific individual. So if you're wanting something that we can't find, you know, a link for, we can create one for you. All right, so let me look at another question here. Here's another one. Is the primary point of contact from MC Works going to be your academic advisor? Yes and no, depending on what kind of question you have about MC Works. If you want to know how you as a student can complete Maryville College Works, absolutely it's your advisor. And when you come here as a freshman, you get assigned an advisor. You have a class with them that you meet 2 days a week, and it's the same group of students, and they all have that same advisor. You're meeting constantly, and you're meeting with that advisor one-on-one all throughout your first semester. Your next semester, you get paired up with an advisor in your major, if you haven't already been, because sometimes if you come in knowing what major you want, you might get paired up with an advisor first thing. But we want to allow for people to experiment and see what they want to do. So then you'll get paired up with an advisor in your major. All the advisors have been trained on all the aspects of Maryville College Works, and anything you want to know about completing this program, they know, and they will make sure that you get it all. But again, it's embedded into all of your classes, so you can't help but to complete it. It's just going to happen as you go through the process. But your advisor is the one that will help you figure out what type of internship, what type of significant practical experience you want to do. If you have questions larger about Maryville College Works, that would be me. I'm the chair, that I could help answer any questions. And if, you know, as a prospective student, until you get here and have an advisor, ask me. You can find me on the Maryville College website. My name's Karen Beale, B-E-A-L-E. Look me up, shoot me an email. Okay, so another question is, do most students complete more than one internship, and how many are recommended? Okay, so the national trend is people are completing at least one, and I'm not going to say internship, but I'm going to say a significant practical experience. At least one, and people who do one have a higher likelihood of getting a job than not doing one. And the statistics are crazy on doing one. And how many should you do? I'm sort of reluctant to say that or answer that because the answer is it depends. It depends on your field. For some fields, one is all you need. For some fields, they might want to see a couple of different kinds of internships. So, for example, I'm in psychology. In counseling, if you want to go into a master's degree in counseling, they would want to see that you worked at an agency who works with different types of populations. So if you know you want to work with children, we have a partnership with New Hope. That is a child abuse center that works with the victims. It's a fantastic nonprofit here in Maryville, Tennessee. At any given time, we have several interns over there doing all different aspects. And if you want to go into counseling working with children, they would want to see you having an internship working with children. Now, if you did an internship with children, but you really want to work with adults, and maybe you didn't know that until you did this internship with children, then you're going to want to have two. So that's why I say it depends. The other thing is, every student does a senior thesis here. It sounds a little intimidating at first, but after I meet with students the first time and I show them the schedule and lay it out, they're like, oh, well, I can do that. Well, of course you can do that, because we have built our curriculum so that by the time you get to senior year, you can do it. But that's also a significant practical experience. So you're already going to have two, just pretty easily. So, I don't know that there's a magic number of how many you need, but it again is going to depend on your major, and you'll work with your advisor for that. So here's another question. What kind of experiences are available for education majors? So if you're wanting to get licensure, so there's a couple different types of licensure you could get. You could get like K-8 or K-6 licensure, and that would be a degree in child development with licensure. If you want to get licensure in high school, then you major in a particular field. So you would major in history, or you would major in biology, and then you would get licensure on top of that. So the experiences that you would want to have is teaching in public schools if you're wanting to get licensure. And every student this spring of their senior year does a significant practical experience in the school systems teaching. They do their student teaching. And we don't wait until that senior year for them to just all of a sudden go in schools. They start going into schools from their sophomore year on. And they are observing in schools, they're working with schools, they can go in and do some volunteer projects, they're observing different teaching styles, they're writing papers on it. So by the time they get to that point, they've been in the school so many times, they know teachers by name, and it completely sets them up for their significant practical experience and then for their career. Maryville College has amazing placements. And I heard the division chair in education say one time that we have such a good reputation about our students who go into education that he can basically make a phone call and get people their student teaching position. Whereas other schools often have to interview and go through lots of paperwork. They know the quality of our students coming out, and he can place them without them having to do interviews, which is incredible, absolutely amazing. But that's the quality of students, and that's the quality of our program to get our students to that shape. We also have really good placement, but as you know, it all depends on where you want to work. If everybody says they want to work within their hometown, so like in Blount County has a really good top-notch school system. Everybody wants to live within the city limits to get into the city schools. If you limit yourself to you only want to work in a city's elementary school and you want these 3 schools, it's going to be hard to get a job because everybody wants those schools. But if you're willing to work out in a rural area, if you're willing to work in an inner city area, if you're willing to take different, like some people say, oh, I'm only going to teach kindergarten. Well, if that's all you're going to teach, you have just limited yourself way down. So we build the skills for the students so that they can try teaching in different areas and get a feel for what they want to do. Okay, so class registration. If you are interested in coming to Maryville College next year, what will happen is you get admitted into Maryville College, and during the summer you'll get lots of communication with the admissions office. During the summer, you'll come to a program that's set up just for students who have been admitted to Maryville College. And we go through you meeting one-on-one with an advisor to get your schedule set up. Now, we send you before that meeting all the core courses that you're going to need, courses that are suggested for your major that you've chosen, and you can go in online and you pick the courses that you want. And then when you come in for that meeting during the summer, they help to make sure that you have a schedule that will work for you. And so, for example, things like if you're a baseball player and you've got courses set up all in the afternoon, well, that's not going to work because you've got baseball practice all afternoon. So you need to get your courses set up in the morning, and so they would help you with things like that. They would also make sure that you've chosen all the courses that you need for the major that you're interested in. So that's how class registration is done before you get here. Once you're here, you're using that same system that we've sent you information about, and you'll sign up for your classes. Then you'll meet with an advisor, take that back. You'll meet with an advisor. They'll help you figure out which classes you need. You'll go and sign up for the sections that you want, and your advisor approves them. It's pretty automated and online, but it's the meeting with the advisor, that one-on-one conversation, and it's with somebody that's in the field that you're interested in. So it's not just a advising workshop that's run by students. This is PhDs who have degrees in the field that you're pursuing. So that's the way we do class registration. Okay, are there other questions? Okay, I don't see any other questions right now. Again, my name is Karen Beal. You can find me on the Maryville College website. If you have more questions and you'd like to ask later, shoot me an email and we'll talk. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming and hearing about Maryville College Works, and hopefully you'll come and visit us. Thanks a bunch.